Today on JNN, we meet a senior whose family's nonprofit organization impacts the lives of the less fortunate.
Next, Jared Perez closes the Fall Sports Box.
And finally, we take a look at a senior with a passion for running and a desire to positively impact his peers.
All this and more on today's JNN.
Good morning, Grigori High. I'm Dylan Longton.
And I'm Michaela Meyer. Today is Friday, November 4th. One senior at our school spent her summer in Africa. Dylan Longton and Lauren Bennett bring you the story of her family's nonprofit organization.
Senior Sarah Sudfeld has had experiences not every high schooler can say they have had. Traveling with her family's humanitarian organization, Assist International, she has been to Kenya and Uganda to help others in need.
This trip, I was in charge of cameraing, so I had a GoPro, a little Canon handheld, and then a big 70D camera. So I was traveling day and night, holding these things to my hip, and I was just in charge of capturing the experience for AI, which is Assist International.
Assist International, our mission statement is to address the needs of the world's most vulnerable people. And so what we do is we network resources with needs overseas. And so we just try to make people or corporations, companies, individual donors aware of the needs and how they can get involved.
There's this jewelry company that Assist International works with that's called NZ Jewelry. And so women in Africa are empowered to learn how to make this jewelry, and they hand spin the beads out of old newspapers. And so you have something like this, which they put all the beads on it, and then we get it shipped over here, and then we sell it. Now Project Change is going to work with us, and they're going to start selling at the school and all this other stuff. So we're really excited about that.
Sarah's also shown us some of the beads that they are getting from women in Uganda that they've created, and she asked Project Change if we'd be interested in helping make some new designs for those beads so that we could possibly encourage our student population to purchase some of those items.
Well, we're hoping to just get the word out there that Grigori's trying to do some global things, and especially Assist International. We want to get it out there that hey, we're from Ripon, but we're doing these big things in Uganda and Kenya and the whole continent of Africa. We can really help make that change.
By visiting Uganda and helping with Assist International, Sarah's attitude about life has been changed.
I'm ruined for the ordinary, I want to be doing these big things, being able to travel and meet these people and get to be a part of their lives. After high school, I'm hoping to kind of continue what I've been able to do, but do it more often.
Reporting for JNN, this has been Lauren Bennett and Dylan Longton.
Thanks, guys. Sarah plans on going back to Uganda in February to continue her humanitarian work. You can surprise your special someone and stop by Grigori's floral department for balloons and flowers, open daily in room M103. Salida Food Bank is currently holding their annual Fall Canned Food Drive. Help someone in need by dropping off any canned goods to the A building. Drama Club is presenting Reunion at Hippie High, a murder mystery dinner this Saturday night in the J building. Tickets cost $15 for dinner and a show, and are still available from Miss Maxon. Show starts at 6 p.m. And before we move on to Sports Box, we have a few sports announcements for the upcoming winter season. Girls basketball tryouts are Monday, November 7th from 4 to 6 p.m. in the gym. Questions? See Coach Reese. If you're interested in wrestling, come to the first practice on Monday, November 7th from 2:15 to 5:30. And now, Jared Perez brings us the JNN Fall Sports Box.
What's up, Jags? I'm Jared Perez coming to you from the JNN Fall Sports Box. First up is football. The Jags won against Mohai last Friday with a score of 21-14. Watch this pass by Joel Sotelo to Gabe Sanchez for the touchdown. What a beautiful throw and catch that was by the two of them. With the win, the Jags now have a record of 7-2, and it puts them in third place right behind Downey and Bayer. Our next game is today against Downey. JV starts at 5:30 while varsity starts at 7:30. JNN will be live streaming the game just in case you cannot make it, So make sure to subscribe to NFHSnetwork.com so you can watch me and my great partner Grant Harrison call this very important last game of the season. Next we have volleyball. Our Lady Jags lost to Turlock at Turlock with a score of 3-0 on Tuesday. Here's a shot from last Thursday's game against Enox at Bayer, and that's Alyssa Bartlett setting the ball for Jenna Tobin to spike the ball for the point. The loss leaves our volleyball team with a record of 10-2 in league, which makes them tied for first with Enox. Unfortunately, the volleyball season is over because they lost to Turlock on Tuesday in the playoffs. Girls water polo beat Enox last Thursday at Enox with a score of 11-3. Here's Lizzie Tagger with a pass to Jamie Runyon for the goal. They currently have a record of 10-3 in league and are in second place. The girls are currently in the playoffs and played St. Mary's at St. Mary's on Wednesday, and by the time of this recording, we did not have the results of that game. Boys water polo beat Johansson at Johansson 6-5 last Thursday. Here we have goalie Nick Potter making a great save to keep Johansson from scoring. Boys water polo won MMC and are currently in the playoffs. They played McClatchy at Enox on Tuesday and won with a score of 16-8. They competed against St. Mary's yesterday, and by the time of this recording, we did not have the results of that game. Girls tennis won MMC and are currently in the playoffs. Our girls beat Cesar Chavez on Monday with a score of 9-0. Watch as Leah Kim returns the serve for the point. Our Lady Jags play Del Oro at home on the 7th. Next we have girls golf, who won MMC and placed second in the tournament at Creekside on October 18th. Our top golfers who led the way in the MMC tournament were Lindsay Martin with a score of 82 and Sarah Ramsel with a score of 91. Finally, the cross-country boys placed first while the girls placed third in the MMC championships on October 28th at Legion Park. Here we have Angelica Latina finishing the race for varsity girls, and for varsity boys, we have Zach Sanders pulling ahead of an opponent just before finishing the race. Look at that speed! The Jags' next competition is subsections tomorrow, the 5th, in Angels Camp. This week, we're highlighting cross-country runner Hunter Jameson for his tremendous leadership on the team and running skills, which have led him to great distances. Michaela Meyer and Emma Jacobson bring you this story.
I started running my 8th grade year at Prescott. I started really with cross-country there. I think what really kind of made me fall in love with running was actually the people I started running with. Just having that kind of like that bond, that family bond with them carried me through to Team Modesto. The prospect of running a full marathon seemed really enticing to me at the time. I probably should have done the half marathon, but I kind of said, who needs to do a half if you can do a full? And so that kind of stubbornness really pushed me into running that full marathon, and I just absolutely fell in love with it. I'd say my most memorable race was my freshman year when I ran the LA Marathon.
We got him a special shirt, and he wore his special shirt in Los Angeles. He was training for our marathon, so he ran the full marathon in Los Angeles in honor of his grandmother. And he came to our marathon and he ran our half. So it's pretty amazing.
I found my passion in running has really been marathoning and above. So any distance that's further than 26.2 miles is considered an ultra marathon. I guess the one person who really got me into my love of running and potentially thinking about ultramarathons is John Olson, a math teacher at Prescott.
When you're running ultramarathons, the cliche is, it's more mental than physical, but it truly is, because at some point you are going to doubt whether you're going to finish or not. But what's been successful is he's been able to take the things that have been roadblocks and he's been able to learn from them and build from them. Hunter has had to overcome obstacles in his own personal life, and that has prepared him for the challenges that he faces, whether it be in the classroom or out on the athletic field.
I think the greatest benefit of running is it's a stress reliever for me, and so it's been a kind of like a healthy way for me just to get out my frustrations, get out my stress, and just really kind of mellow myself out.
As a freshman, we could definitely see there was talent there, but even more than his talent, he just took it seriously. He took the sport seriously.
I know there's a lot of people on the team who look up to me, not maybe as like a role model, but just kind of like as a friend and like the guy who's just laid back, let loose.
He was always very friendly. He always had a pack of kids running with him. So he was, kind of I'll say in the leader.
He's just caused team spirit. I mean, he's our one who every time we do a team cheer, he's in the middle. He's leading it. He's the one that just can kind of pump everybody up, encourage everybody.
What separates him from others is it's not just about him and his accomplishments, it's what he can do with it to help others. And I think when we look back on Hunter, the amount of people that he has been able to positively impact will be much greater than we can imagine. And I wouldn't expect anything less from him. And I don't think he'd expect anything less from himself.
There's going to be times you're going to be going through really low points. In marathon, we call it hitting the wall. And I think we all go through times in life where we're always hitting a metaphorical wall, and being able to kind of consistently push through that, or learning there's always going to be that light at the end of the tunnel that's going to allow you to kind of motivate yourself to move to something, or things are going to end up leveling out and be okay in the end. To me, that's probably been the biggest lesson I've ever learned from running.
Well, that's it for the JNN Fall Sports Box. I'm Jared Perez. See you next season for winter sports. I'm out. Back to you, Dylan.
Thanks, Jared. Hey, all you seniors, listen up. We've got a couple announcements just for you. Seniors with the last name that begin with the letters M through Z can go to the Jostens table in front of the SBO at lunch today to place an order for your cap and gown. For those of you planning on going to Disneyland, fundraising for the senior trip has already started up. Head to the SBO to pick up a chocolate box. Also, a reminder that every Thursday is College Day, so wear your favorite college shirt to school. Finally, on Thursday, head to the Career Center before or after school to get help from Ms. Kuykendall or Ms. Platt in completing and reviewing your college applications.
Well, that's it for JNN this week. I'm Michaela Meyer.
And I'm Dylan Longton. See you next time.